Like most people, you're probably under the impression that Carl's dad killed The Walking Dead. Numbers dropped and it was over, like all of these people on Reddit. So I wanted to find out the stats behind all of that, to identify exactly what killed The Walking Dead. So I did some digging. It turns out AMC is very transparent with their viewer stats, so I identified this from a couple reliable sources. The show at the beginning of season 8 was hitting just under 8 million views on average. Then the 9th episode of the season where Carl died hit 8.3 million, and then the next episode after Carl's death had 6.82 million views. Now, is this a big drop? Yes, it's not good for the show. That resulted in around 18% less people watching the show from there on. Now, is that big? Sure, but it's not nearly as much as most people think. Also, the stats I just told you are from the episode 9 in which Carl dies to the next episode. But actually, Carl's death brought in a lot of viewers as well, so the drop was actually a lot smaller than even that. So let's say that The Walking Dead indeed lost 15% of viewership after Carl's death. Is it bad? Absolutely. Is it catastrophic? Not really. And at that point, The Walking Dead had 8 million viewers, which is less than 50% of the show's peak viewership. So then when did the decline actually begin? Most people would say that right here. Abraham and Glenn, two great characters killed brutally. Okay, let's look at the stats. The premiere of season 7 had 17 million viewers. 17 million, that's insane. And then the next episode after that had 12.5 million. That is a lot less. That's a 27% drop in viewership. Now that's a lot, except that that's not actually what happened. You see, you can find this kind of numbers everywhere. The Walking Dead had 17 million viewers in its peak. 17, what happened? Everybody knows that The Walking Dead had 17 million viewers in its peak. But what if I told you that that isn't really true? Look, here's the deal. The episode before Glenn's death had 14 million viewers, and the episode before that had only 12. But at the end of season 6, they hyped up Negan by making him kill one character, but we didn't really know who he killed. They essentially ended season 6 on a cliffhanger. Then there was many months where people were constantly debating who was killed. So obviously when 7th season aired, everybody wanted to know who was killed. That's why that episode got 17 million viewers. So if you look at the charts, season 6 is averaging somewhere at 12 million viewers. And then the episode after Glenn's death has 11 million. And it continues like that throughout season 7. So this is actually not true. The reason why people say that viewership dropped dramatically after major character deaths like Carl or Glenn is because they only compared the episode where they died and the next episode. But obviously the episode where a major character dies will bring a shit ton of people in as well. It's The Walking Dead. People want to see people die. So The Walking Dead never really had that 17 million viewers. If you look at season 5, that is considered by many to be the most successful season, you can see that it has 13 million viewers on average. There are some crazy peaks, obviously mostly premieres where it goes considerably higher, but that's not sustainable. Okay, so if Glenn didn't kill The Walking Dead and neither did Carl, then what did? Well, two things actually. First off, getting consistently this many viewers is very difficult for a show without progressive story. You peak at some point, there is nothing you can do about it. We can see that that was around season 4 to 5. After that comes reason 2. Not just a single event, but a consistent decline in quality. Or not really loss in quality, but just the loss of a red line and main story. The stories that drag too long, the whole situation getting too complicated, and yes, also killing off old characters everybody loves and introducing new characters people don't give a shit about. And that continues all the way until season 9, where it kind of stops. Keep in mind that Rick was also killed off in episode 5 of season 9, but the viewership kind of stayed consistent throughout the whole season. Although that there's many years that passed after Rick's death and a lot of things changed, people that remained still kept on watching. And that is because season 9 is really fucking good. And that continues in season 10. And that's what happened. Decrease in quality kind of, and just the natural fall off of a huge show. Carl wasn't responsible, Glenn wasn't responsible, Abraham wasn't responsible, Beth wasn't responsible, Rick wasn't responsible. Actually, it's quite the opposite. Rick's death brought in a lot of viewers, and it continued strongly even after he was gone. Carl's death did some damage, but that's because it was a really stupid decision. Glenn and Abraham brought in literally the most viewers The Walking Dead indeed ever had. Hell, even Beth brought in a shit ton of people. And that is because The Walking Dead fans, spoiler alert, love watching people die. When I see a random clip from season 5 on YouTube, I usually don't click, but when I see a clip of Negan killing Glenn, I always watch. No exceptions. And guess what? If one of the big remaining 6 characters would die right now, I'd watch that too. And so would a shit ton of people that never even watched any of the spin-offs before. The problem is actually not killing off the main characters. Sure, people may stop watching for a while, but they'll come back. The problems The Walking Dead has may be more of an opposite. Nobody important dies nowadays. I'm not saying that Carl's death wasn't a really fucking stupid decision, but he didn't kill the show, and neither did Rick or Glenn.